the city goes high. Stories untold under moonlit skies. Braille only got the vibe, got the flow for the culture. Yeah, you already know. Turn it up, lean back, feel the breeze. Late night truths drifting through the trees. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braille only's got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire. Headlines flip with a soulful twist. Behind the scenes where the magic sits. It's the heartbeat of the now and the then, where the story starts and never ends. Tune in, lean and feel the groove. Every moment, a vibe you can't lose. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braille only's got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire.
Well, hello to you, and welcome into another edition of Brainley's Virtual Tour Live. Shout out to the two people, one person here now. Glad to have all you here. Got to spend some time with my good sister today, who I love, adore, and just is everything to me. I will just say this. If you really want to know how blessed you are with who you have in your life, take the time out and talk to her. You will find out not only are they everything that you know they are, but you see why you do love them so much. So love your sister as always. Prayers up for tomorrow. All right, y'all, we got a lot to talk about with Heart and Hustle Houston. We are on episode 7. And child, we're not getting a reunion. Allegedly, me and Millie Chun are ready for a reunion, damn it. Let's talk about it. The host did at least, damn it. Well, that's actually what me and Millie Chun would be doing. So let's get to it, because higher is waiting, low is available. But either way, we gotta go on tour. Yes, indeed, we do. Let me take down this iconic intro here. Great people, thank you so much. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. Give myself a gist in it here. Get older. And then there is me. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. Woo, Pig Suey, Razorback. Shout out to my Arkansas Razorbacks as well. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. Child's always something with these Lays of Houston. All right, here we go. You know, by the way, as a side note, can Megan Thee Stallion come through? I'm just saying, you know, I'm sure Megan is locked in, clocked in, and, you know, she knows what's happening in Houston, so I'm sure of it. So let's get to it. We start off at Allure with Ashley, right? So one of her chefs is, you know, showcasing how he is cooking lamb. Now, Ashley has a new restaurant coming out, so we send light, love, and prayers to that. You know, we always support Black-owned business around here. Yes, indeed, we do. So then Latoya comes through, and there's a guy named Uncle Rodney, who is Ashley's uncle. And, you know, Ashley loves to do everything big. So, like I said, she has a new restaurant. Labrina comes through. And, you know, like I said, both ladies, Latoya and Labrina, are both looking forward to moving in a better place. And I'm glad for it, because I'm just like, you know, the precious conversation, you know, it's tiring, child. Like, y'all, that whole thing was like that old, broken, dilapidated show that needs to be canceled entirely, including the producer who said that producing reality television isn't fun for him anymore, Carlos King. I don't get how you can say that in an interview and yet the network still employs you. I don't get that. Thank God I'm not the CEO of one because I would be. Carlos, this ain't fun for you no more. Okay, we're canceling the show. Now, as the CEO of OWN, I would make sure that the staff and crew, would get their checks, right? And I'll make sure the cast get their final checks. It ain't gonna be a big check, y'all, because y'all don't deserve a big check. But that's neither here nor there. Let's continue on with an actual successful hit show. So with that being said, like I said, both ladies want to move into a good place. So they were eating smoked crab cakes. And then talk about Roe's event. So for those of you who don't know, the last episode, Roe had a wild night out at this beautiful restaurant called Confessions, and it's a good place to be. Shout out to all the Black-owned restaurants and bars and all the Black-owned businesses in Houston and all around the country, all around the world, for that matter. And you can tell there was friction in the group, and it was a lot. And this precious conversation, like I said, Chloe said the word precious, right? And so apparently Chloe is the dog carrying a bone, and Latoya apologizes for her entanglement in it all. Here's the thing, right? This is just me. I feel like Latoya was not wrong in wanting to defend her friend. That's how I would want my friend to defend me. That's how I would defend my friends. I think the problem was it was the holding on to it. You know what I mean? Just keeping it a buck, right? But here's the thing. If nothing is ever resolved, then you're going to hold on to it until it's resolved, right? And I'm glad that they are in a space now where, things are, peaceful in the valley. So, yes, indeed, there. So then we are with Marina. Marina, Norm, and, Marina's dad are all going to be at the family dinner. Mom is not coming, but Norm is seemingly a little too excited, according to Marina. I mean, listen. We remember the first season and how there was a communication issue with Hachi and Norm, right? I feel like Norm's a solid dude. I don't know him personally, but from what I've seen, he seems like a solid dude. My thing is this. People are going to be people, right? If your mom doesn't want to hear out your husband and your husband has been trying to be loving, kind, and gracious, then there's only so much your husband can do. I'm just keeping it up. Like, that would be like if my BBW wife, and kids and everything, and, she wanted to move her mom in, it's like, okay, well, if I'm doing everything I can and, I'm making sure that, hey, I get her, her special candy or this, that, and the third, and she still sees me as an a-hole, even though I have never cussed her out, never done this, that, and third. At some point, I'm going to care because I do respect my elders. But also, too, I'm not going to be walked all over either. You know what I mean? So I feel where Norm is coming from with this, right? So Chachi doesn't want to see his face. Chachi doesn't want to see her ex-husband's face. And Chachi thought that they were going to go out to dinner, right? And it was like, no, it was a family dinner, right? Unless, Marina said that off camera. So Marina and Norm, they're in the kitchen. And, when they are mad at each other, it affects the house, right? Norm goes quiet. And Marina is not a robot, right? So, her parents, not communicating relates to her not communicating. And now Marina doesn't want to have the family dinner. Now I'm sorry, listen. After you have cooked the food, right? Let's see here. Welcome in, D, JK8, TY. Thank you so much for being here. When looking at the last episode of Heart and Hustle Houston, it was still Labina who used Precious in a derogatory way. They keep giving us bits and pieces of the conversation. I want to get to that. Because I feel you, D, and we won't have a lot to talk about with that because I feel you. I feel you, and I don't like the tactic that I think is being used. But we're gonna get there though. I appreciate it. Stick around a while. Glad to have you here. So like I said, after all the food is cooked, I'm like, might as well eat. And that's what Norm said, right? And they hug and everything. And Norm talks about his, parents from Jamaica and the fact that they did things together with the girls. And so, they want Norm and Marina wanted to do this with Marina's family, but the mom didn't want to come down, and Marina was not feeling the prayer. It's just like, to me, I don't think he was being mean about it. He was stating facts. Your mama didn't want to come downstairs for dinner. Like, it is what it is. But a very beautiful moment happened because one of the young daughters drew a picture of Grandpa. And I thought that was so sweet, right? The thing I love about the show is we get the totality, right, of what happens in reality. Not a black woman saying, whoa, I gotta go get a drink after this scene, when you already know that all of y'all as a cast is the personification of thirsty toxicity actually made to be famous, and you already not good on alcohol. Okay, listen, why get a drink when you're already not good on alcohol? Why go get a drink when you know you're not good on alcohol? Why go get a drink when you are not good on that alcohol? Okay, because your husband just got arrested. See what happens when you try to wish bad on other people? Comes right back to you. Okay? In the words of Jojo Siwa, life is like a boomerang. Norm, all that was not necessary. I mean, he was being honest. She didn't want to come downstairs for dinner. Like, and not to mention, too, the kids have eyes. So even if Norm did say anything, where's Grandma? Like, it was going to come up anyway. D, I like you. Well, you can stick around a while. So anyway, Chachi's gonna make it another time, and Marina wants the girls to have a grandma and a grandpa, and I do agree with that. I think kids should be able to have the strongest village that they can, right? So then we meet Ashley and Brad. Now this is the first time that we're actually meeting Ashley's husband. 2018 they met, then they got married in February 2022. They have 2 kids, and they also have moved in their nephew. So shout out to them for being good bonus parents. Don't know what the nephew is going through, but hopefully everything works out. So they have a new, they're looking through the blueprints of McCurr, I think it's called McCurder Steak and Seafood, 12,000 square feet. 12,000 square feet is a decent place for a steak and seafood restaurant. I feel like most sea and steak food restaurants are usually about 15,000 square feet, 20,000. Let me ask you. What is the average square feet of a steak and seafood restaurant? Okay, the average size is about 3,000 to 6,500 square feet according to Google. Okay, so it's a little bit more than that. The only reason why I was thinking about that was because, steak and seafood is usually higher cost. You got to think about overhead, this, that, and the third, but also too, you got to think about the layout, right? You got to think about that kitchen, right? So you got to think about the kitchen to the where they have the oars and everything, and then you got to think about all the traffic, right? So I'm sure that they are planning that in the blueprint, right? Brad has a production company. Shout out to him. Production companies do a lot of work. So when you go see Taylor Swift, you go see Beyonce, when you go see Jay-Z, which, by the way, shout out to Jay-Z, 50,000 fans at Yankee Stadium, and Beyonce looking scrumdiddlyumptious. I'm just like, Jay-Z is a blessed man, and y'all can say what y'all want to about him, but if he gave y'all a check for $10 million, some of y'all will be shutting the hell up. Okay? All right. And then Blue Ivy playing on the piano and all that. I thought that was really nice, man. Like, with everything going on in the world, can we just be happy that black people are being black? I mean, good damn. This lets us know that Ashley plans to stick around there, give us her profile, everything. You know what? I agree with that. I'd so agree with that, because here's the thing, right? Elena's not clocked in for work. I'm sorry. She's not. And I get life happens, but have y'all heard anything about color du jour? No shade, right? Because here's the thing, not everybody posts everything online, nor should everybody post everything online, right? So I'm not saying that Elena doesn't have the right to anonymity and privacy, But child, you on the call sheet. You know, like that thumbnail also has you in it. So what are you doing? Just saying. And I do think Ashley is planning to stick around. I fully agree with you, D. Fully agree. So then after all that, Ashley, yes, like I said, with all the arts you see, shout out to the production companies that they do the LED screens and all the seating and lights and sound, everything. Shout out to production companies for sure, black owned and everybody, because production companies they do great work. So Ashley is overdone. She got her doctorate. So her schedule is Monday through Wednesday. She's a therapist, right? But Thursday through Sunday, she is in Umber, Texas, at Allure, right? So let me pull up Allure here because we do support black-owned businesses. We do. For Texas. Bar and RES restaurant. Okay, so here it is. Here I'm gonna show it off here because y'all know we always support black-owned businesses. We do. Um, so here it is, right here. So Houston's number one exclusive destination. Love the website, very nice. Right here, this is their menu. We'll look at their menu here in a minute. Very visual, love that. Is that catfish? What is that? Oh, by the way, I like that. Is that like a branded onion? I meant to say branded lemon child. I'm sorry. That was a pure accident, Ashley, for real. I meant to say lemon, but I went to onion instead. My bad. Let's see here. Now that looks like pancakes, but it looks like apple pecan pancakes, maybe. Of course, that's a seafood boil. And it's an all-day menu. Okay, let's look at the menu. So they got their drinks, the Copper Lux, a Moscow Mule, vodka, ginger beer, fresh lime juice, midnight brine, vodka or gin, dry vermouth, olive brine, and olives, golden chariot, sidecar, cognac, triple sec, fresh lemon, sugar rim. That sounds like a drink I would do. Velvet vintage old fashioned, bourbon, sugar, Escagora bitters, and orange peel, smoked mirage, mezcal, margarita, mezcal, triple sec, fresh lime juice, agave, salt, or tagine rim. By the way, get those sweet chamoy wing from Wingstop, top tier energy. La Vida Lux Classic Margarita, tequila, triple sec, fresh lime juice, salt rim. Ooh, Inferno Besco, mezcal, triple sec, fresh lime juice, jalapeno slices, and tahini rim. I'm not going to say that maybe Chloe should have been served a spicy margarita for her mouth to be shut. But I'm just saying it was an option on the menu. Okay, listen. And then they have the rest of the. They have happy hour 4 to 7, right? So you can get, the sidecar for $11, classic margarita for $9. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so wait a minute. $9 margarita, $11 for all these drinks here. Okay. $5 draft, Mexican candy shot, mozzarella sticks, sliders, choice of 2 turkey or beef sliders with a side of fries, bang bang calamari, and bang bang shrimp. The brunch special, Sunday 2 to 6. Smoked oxtails. Ooh, my lord. Now this is where I'm at. Okay. This is where I'm at. Fried catfish. 3 pieces of southern fried catfish with your choice of 2 sides, mac and cheese, dirty rice, sauteed corn, braised collard greens, or candy yams. We can't have no hush puppies or French fries. I'm just asking. Okay, listen. or you can at least you can do sweet potato fries. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Yes, indeed, there, and then of course the food, darling, the food. Lamb chops, catfish fillet, shrimp basket mini burgers, of course the calamari and shrimp, loaded crinkle fries. Ooh, chicken or beef brisket, whole wing basket, party wings, crab cakes, whole snapper, mozzarella sticks, and the sides. Okay, cheesecake egg rolls. Okay, you know what? Egg rolls have definitely been more utilized recently. So shout out to the versatility of egg rolls. So that is Allure Bar and Lounge in Umber, Texas. Shout out to them. Yes, indeed. We love promoting black-owned businesses around here. So like I said, that is Ashley's place, Ashley and Brad's place. Like I said, Monday through Wednesday, Therapist, and then Thursday, Sunday, Allure in Umber, Texas. So then Roe goes over to Jayvon's place. And and then Jayvon, brother, see, this is why I can't stand, right? In the last episode, you said, "Oh, you got nipped and tucked. Let me see it." And then Ro did a little hoo-ha for you. But then when Ro gets in the door, you say, "Not vegan anymore." Child. Now, Jayvon, she tasted good like some barbecue ribs when y'all made Sophia. Don't do that. That's not nice, okay? I'm like, Ro just got the damn door. Hell. I mean, what's not vegan anymore to you will be meat to somebody else, damn it. Just my God. Anyway, moving on. So Ro and Sophia and Jayvon, they're cooking dinner as a family, and the biggest thing that Jayvon wants, the biggest thing that Ro wants Sophia to do is her schoolwork and her attitude, right? And Jayvon says, it's about the manipulation. And Rose says, I wonder who she gets that from. And Sophia was like, why did you shade like that? I look at it like this. It's not shade if it's a fact, okay? If it's factual that he manipulates, then it's a fact. It ain't shade, okay? All right? Moving on. Just, we got to get past that, all right? So, with that said, after that, Rose says when we're together, we're good, but when we're just us as individuals, we're not good. So they're all going to go for therapy. Jayvon says, okay. And, Jayvon says, can you not be Baltimore Roe? And Rose says that, can you not be Miami J, right? So that's one of the reasons Roe left Jayvon his mouth. Should they have been talking should they have been talking that much in front of Sophia? I don't think so, no. Because here's the thing, right? You know how they say stay in a child's place? Even though that can sound, like dismissive, it's also protecting the child. I don't think that Sophia should have had to, hear, Jayvon fat shaming. I don't think that the daughter should hear their mama fat shamed. Like, sorry, not sorry, y'all. Like, it just is what it is. And Jayvon, you a big boy yourself, okay? Listen. And I bet you, when y'all were together, all right, I bet you were eating some of that food at Rose, places that she owns. So, listen. It takes somebody not vegan to know somebody not vegan, Jayvon. But anyway, that was just too much, man. And listen, I ain't saying nothing crazy he said on television. I'm just repeating it, damn it. But anyway, so then we get to Ro, LaToya, and Chloe. So they talk about Ro's event. That was nice. And, they talk about all the marriages and stuff like that. And Chloe asked, do you think everybody's happily married? Rose says no. And let me tell you something. I think Rose was right. Not every marriage is happy. I mean, you are usually you hope to be happy most days, but every marriage has problems. So I felt like Rose said, her answer correctly. And then Chloe said, and I quote, she said for a sex life, it should be spunky, funky, and nasty for sex life. And all I could think about was doo-doo garbage DDG talking about stanky sex. And everybody knows at that time he was dating Haley Bailey. She is with a grown man now. It should be me. Haley Lee has a nice ring to it, but we're gonna be happy for Haley Bailey and her man. I would like to be with somebody, I'm available. But anyway, moving on. It's not about me. It's about this damn show that we love so much. All right. And so, LaBria was like, well, one friend of mine has sex every day. Well, actually, no, Latoria said that she watches YouTube videos of different people. There's one couple that has sex every day, but then for one of her best friends, she said there's sex on special occasions and holidays. So Latoria, in your friend's marriage is like Black Friday BDSM day for them. I'm just asking a question. Okay, and then Cyber Monday, do they get all the deals on the toys and then they just test them out? You know what? That's not my business. That's not my business. That's not my business. What? Latoria said that her friend has sex on special occasions and holidays, Black Friday and Cyber Monday or holidays. You listen, y'all saw the thumbnail. You know my voice is Debbie. You know why you're here. Don't look at me like that. Don't you look at me like that. Anyway, moving on. But the thing that really triggered me with Chloe, I'm just like, child, you say that sex life should be spunky, funky, and nasty. All I have to say to you is this. Jordan! Mama, no! So you go on comment on other people's sex life when you had to call for your man like he was one of your children. I'm just asking a question. Another question of that. He gave another woman an access code, but yet you're talking about nobody's happy in their marriages. One of your own children said, and I quote, "You want to marry Jordan, but I don't." But you want to talk about other people's marriages that probably have at least 1 to 2 times more sex than you and Jordan don't have sex. Okay, listen, what do I know? I'm just a black man talking on YouTube and on social media. Moving on. So, then Chloe says it's like they don't have it, and it's like they don't like their husband. I'm sure that in the fashion that they don't like their husband, they don't like their wives, but that don't mean that they are, not trying to make their marriage work. Okay. And then they talk about Labrina and Will not having any sex. First of all, y'all don't know what goes on in their home. The hell? As long as it works for them, why do y'all care? And Will's a smooth brother. And I bet you Labrina, she's short, but she mighty. Okay, they got a ranch. Okay, they can role play. Labrina could be cow and Will could just be younging her in. Okay, listen. They got room to play. Moving on. Let me stop before Ro comes in here and says, "Shut up, Braylon." Anyway, shout out to Ro. So then Labrina versus Chloe, the precious comment once again. Latoria's over the precious conversation. And what I will say to that is this right here. Congratulations, because I'm over it too. Like, y'all, listen, y'all fixed it, okay? And listen, we are going to talk about that because what D said right here is a very important clue to what's going on with this production, okay? So we're going to get to that. So then after that, Labrina and Ashley are talking. Ashley's like, I give a dog an animal, but baby, I don't know. And you know, the wall conversation about Roe, right? The way it was brought back, the way Chloe took it was sloppy, nasty, and stanky from Labrina. I'm like, all right, y'all definitely know how to use those words very well in y'all lexicon, y'all vocabulary, yes. So with that being said, Labrina said that the way Chloe moves is distasteful and gross. And Labrina's going to talk to Chloe at the couples event. So that was pretty much that for that conversation. Marina pulls up to Norman's job, and Norman, shout out to you for actually being able to build something and not getting a builder's license for television when you know you don't have any other skill set. See, the thing I love about this cast, they actually do this in real life. They don't just do things just to be on television. And none of their mothers-in-laws are related to snakes and cockroaches. Moving on. So Norm, he does residential and commercial construction. And by the way, can I just say that the bars and restaurants on Heart and Hustle Houston are better than the one bar and lounge in Huntsville, Alabama. Let me just say that. And none of their bars and lounges has ever been mentioned in an arrest report on the news. I just want to clear that up. All right, moving on. So, listen, it is not shade if it's a fact. All right, moving on. Now, with that said, Norm thought that Marina was a hater for half a day, right? And he just held it in. And Marina's like, you hold stuff, and that's a problem for us, right? And they talk about the prayer, and Norm was not trying to be petty. And then Marina says that Norm is petty and corny. It's like, yeah, but, you know, I feel like everybody can be corny, everybody can be petty. Some more than others, but that's neither here nor there. So then we go to Roe and Ashley, right? Roe and Ashley. They are at Pilates. And it looks like it's one of those row machines, you know, like the big, there's like the boating regattas, and you have the rowing team. Row, left, row, right. It looked like that, but it really wasn't that. It was stretching them out, right? And Rose said, apparently, this is the last time I'm giving my all the pressure to you. I'm like, y'all don't know each other that well. What the hell? But then again, I did say we don't know if Ashley is nice, nasty with her doctorate degree and trying to shade people by using her psychology to really say what she really wants to say, but don't stand 10 toes down on what she needs to say. So I did say that about Ashley. So I can't really talk about Rose that bad, but still, I'm just like, come on now. But anyway, pickleball, for those of you who don't know, Ashley heard from a little birdie, which was Labrina, that Latoya was upset that she had to pay for a lemon drop. And it was the cast finale party, right? And I will just say this, right? If you are a celebrity, right? Or if you're a content creator or influencer, if you're on the guest list, I feel like your drinks should be comped. And if it's not comped, as long as the person paying for it, why bring it up as an issue? So Ashley, she brought lemons and Tito's vodka. By the way, Tito's is made in Austin, Texas. Shout out to Tito's vodka. And then the vision board party. Now, Ashley, you say you were trying to talk to Ro. Now, when they rolled back the footage, you wasn't really saying nothing to Ro. I'm sorry. No. You weren't saying nothing. Ro was talking more. Like, come on now. And so, you know, apparently Chloe is in everything. And, you know, Ashley and Ro agree that this is enough bones for the group, right? So then we get to couples night at Allure. Now, I'll be real with you. Whenever you are doing programming at your bar or restaurant, it should be for everybody, right? So, does Allure not have a private room? Now, this is not shading. This is not dragging. This is not hateration. I'm asking a legitimate question, okay? Because you had it out in front of everybody, right? I'm just asking. Let's see. Roe no Ashley for a second, and Chloe has not going for at least a season. I don't think Roe should have. Almost agree with Ashley saying that Chloe is a bone collector. I will say this. I do agree with that. I do think that your history should determine a lot with people. I really do believe that, right? But in the same token, though, in the words of Karen Huger, I'm only judging what you give me. So Chloe does seem to be coming up a lot, right? And it is, and I will say this too, it was weird of like, wait a minute, this is your last time giving the olive branch, but now you're agreeing with Ashley? I did think that was a little odd. It is the sneak. It's a little tiny smidge. Gosh, you're a little tiny smidge. Shout to Despicable Me. But yeah, I will agree with you there. So like I said, I feel like that couples night thing should have been at Allure because, you know, you got this guy with this microphone and, you know, you can hear his voice all over, you know, the restaurant, right? So Chloe, I was about to say chlorine. Chlorine. Chlorine Joy. Y'all know Joy the dish show. Chlorine and Joy the dish show. Dish soap. Good. Damn it, Braylon. Anyway, Chlorine enjoyed the dish soap arrived. But really, I meant to say Chloe and Jordan. Listen, I was not trying to be funny, okay, with that. That was a genuine moment I had, okay? So Chloe and Jordan arrived first, then Marina and Norm, then Labrina and Will, right? So Labrina's head is pounding, so I'm guessing she has a headache, and she's not trusting Chloe, right? So we got a couples game going. So who apologizes after the first argument? And Will and Labrina both agree that Labrina apologizes. And, you know, the host asked why. And I think Chloe said, because Labrina's wrong. I'm like, child, they actually married you not. You even said, like, we're not married. And then Ashley, you were slick with this. But I clocked that T. You said, y'all might lose. I'm like, hey, okay. All right. Oh my God. So, you know, but Labrina, she actually gave a very good answer. She said that she apologizes first because she leads by example. And, you know, Will might need to, you know, retreat for a minute. You know, couples have different communication styles, right? But she said that Will leads in a lot of other areas. So, you know, I thought that was very good. And Norm made the first move yes, who made the first move in the relationship? That was Norm. And, you know, what does he do that makes you smile, right? So Chloe said he's intentional and thoughtful. It is the Jordan Davis experience. I'm trying to figure out, right, just what we have seen has not really been thoughtful behavior here in this relationship. Intentional, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, now listen, they did, you know, have ice cream and things of that energy with the kids, Chloe and Jordan. Then, you know, Nico and Jordan are starting to get along. But I And like I said, we don't see a lot, right? We only see what we see for 60 minutes, right? 42 minutes without commercials. But I don't know. I don't know. And Jordan has the same answer, but I'm just like, no, right? But then again, with Labrina and Will and Norm and Marina, they didn't really give like a story either. You know what I mean? About like why they actually said it. So, it wasn't that big of a thing. And then Brad said, listen, what's the one thing you hope she never stops doing? Being a baddie and being fine. And Ashley was like, well, I just am who I am. Now, he hasn't had that in his other relationships. I'm like, Ashley, a queen, doesn't protest too much, okay? But Ashley said that he likes a boss, and I like a boss too. You know what I mean? Like to see a woman in the fullness of who she is a turn on, okay? Like if I'm rolling up to my, let's just say me and Precious Lee were married. If she's doing a photo shoot for her, fashion line, if I'm on the ground, I'm just like this, and I'm just watching everything, that turns me on. Baby, you go ahead, be a boss. I'm just watching. That's my wifey. That fine one over there, yeah, that's mine. Quit looking. Meanwhile, Precious, will you please behave yourself? You want me to behave myself? Do you want to say how you misbehaved last night? That was on purpose. Okay, touche. So then, here's where we get to Dee's comment, right? Oh, hang on. The indoor outing was intentional. Jordan suggested his spending more time with Chloe with the children was rather intentional. The indoor outing was, okay, I see what you mean, the indoor outing with the ice cream. Jordan suggested his spending more time with Chloe's children was rather intentional. I mean, it was, it's just and this is the thing too, this is like the second season, right? So this is like really when we get into, Jordan and Chloe, So we know that the other couples, they have had bonds, and this is still fresh for us, the audience. But I do agree with that, right? So now we get to this right here, right? Because we get to the Precious conversation. And Chloe said you don't give up your source, right? And Labrina said that that's loose, right? And Labrina's issue is how you go back to people with Chloe and the Precious comment. And then Marina says, well, I sent the Precious comment, right? Because I couldn't think of the actress name. It was no negative convo nor negative connotation. Now this is where Dee's comment comes into the conversation. Jesse Collins Entertainment and y'all know y'all got the original digital footage. Because you gave us Labrina's version, you gave us Chloe's version, and you gave us Labrina's version, Chloe's version, and Marina's version. Now, one of these three have to be it. Now, listen. I am not watching Clue on the Oprah Winfrey Network, okay? Not watching a murder mystery and trying to figure out which one of these people. Was it Colonel Mustard? Okay? Or was it somebody else? I'm not watching Clue. I'm watching Hard Hustle Houston. And y'all need to quit playing with these clips, because I do agree. These bits and pieces are forming the opinions of the audience, right? Now, listen. At the beginning, middle, and end of the day, production does do things to hype up the show. But like these ladies don't have to do anything to hype up the show. They just are who they are. That other broken, dilapidated, decrepit show, they gotta twist, turn, and manipulate in order to be on TV. They ain't got none original to themselves. Okay. You got who's been arrested on that? Who's been arrested on that cast? You got Destiny, who's been arrested. Okay. You got Maurice Scott that's been arrested. You got Marceau who's been arrested. You got Martell who's been arrested. 4 people been arrested. I mean, Jen Shaw, when she got arrested, she could never come back to Bravo. At least Bravo has standards and requirements. I mean, good damn. The hoodlums and scoundrels of Huntsville. That should be the new show. But anyway, moving on. But yeah, I was confused by Morena's existence in that conversation. I'm like, huh? Can we please just get who said it and then move the hell on? Because I'm tired of it. Just like Latoya is, right? And so, Labrina says, you throw rocks and hide your hands. And Chloe, says, I don't do that. I say it to your face. I'm sick of being blamed all the time. And I stand up for everyone in this group. And then Chloe, having the black dassy, the black hypocrisy, and the black imagination to stand up and say, I'm the glue of this group. If you're the glue of this group, child, I was playing Is It the Way You Love Me while I was giving Jill Scott Lee the business last night, if that's the case, which it was not the case. So that means Chloe is not the glue of the group. Really? You have a relationship that really doesn't have a solid foundation, because it seems like there's more of a disconnect than a connect, right? And your name keeps being brought up in all these conversations, right? And a person who's the glue, right, usually can stand in what's happening, right? And they can carry themselves well enough to get through it. And if what someone is saying ain't true, why are you responding, right? So, just saying. I can see why the comment was taken back to Latoya. They didn't know what was going to be shown to the public. If that clip aired, the person who said a negative way needs to apologize. I agree. I absolutely agree, because here's the thing, and I remember that episode, right? Like, we didn't even see that. We saw the event, but we didn't see that, right? So, but also too, like, that should have been in season 1. So why tape an event? Now, this is my producer brain. Why tape an event and then tape that conversation to put in season 2? I'm just saying. Because here's the thing that y'all may not know, right? So for reality TV, there are different crews, right? So the main crew, Jesse Collins is not there every day, right? So Jesse Collins hires an executive producer, the supervisor producers, and everything else. And then, okay, that crew's in Houston. They do what they do. They send the dates to Jesse Collins Entertainment, this, that, and the third, right? So whoever was in the room that day, or that night, right? Because I think the event was that night. Whoever was in the room that night, those camera people know who actually said it. But of course, the camera people can't say nothing because they're under a non-disclosure agreement. And so I'm hoping that by the end of the season, they'll play the actual factual clip. And Owen, if you really want a reunion, me and Millie Chung will gladly host it together, okay? Just, Millie Chung comes out here finer than a cucumber, then we gonna have some problems. Because child, you put me next to some chocolate and caramel goodness, we're gonna have some issues. It's like, okay, which one y'all single? No, I'm joking. You don't use a reunion to hit on people. Now, if there's a flirty vibe, then you make it do what it do. But anyway, into it. Child, listen, if Andy Cohen could get employed, why can't I? Moving on. But anyway, yeah, that glue of the group comment that was outlined. I'm sorry, I just gotta be real with you. I don't think anybody would actually say that on social media, that you're the glue of the group. If anything, I would say Latoya, Roe, and Labrina are the glue of the group. I would say that. But they're the glue in different ways, right? I think with Labrina, she is very, to the point. but she can also be that homegirl when she needs to be. Latoya, she's kind of the mother hen of the group. And Rose, she's just the one that will say what needs to be said. So those three people each hold their own to be the glue. You, Chloe, like, you'll have your hairstyle the way it's supposed to be one day, and then you'll come out in this wig. It's like, in the words of Giselle Bryant, who you should never quote, but in the words of Giselle Bryant, burn it. And by the way, it's like you go back and forth between these things. It's like, do you see yourself on TV? Like, did you have long hair back in the day? Can we have a receipt of you having long hair? Because it just don't look right on you. I'm sorry. It just don't. Now, Ro with her curls and her curves, it makes sense. Okay? Because curls can be used as reins. Okay? But is it just me? I don't know. Let's roll on. So, Ashley talks to Chloe about being the bone collector. And, Chloe says, if you're going to say something about my friends, then I'm going to say something. I don't do shady, ish with women. And so Chloe calls Ro because Chloe's not here for Ro saying that she's a bone collector, right? And I always thought Latoya overall was the glue of the group. But if I had to really say who was the glue of the, okay, Latoya's the glue of the group, and then Ro and Labrina, they make sure they make sure the glue is dried. Okay, so Latoya is the glue, and Ro and Labrina, to me, make sure the glue is dried. You know what I mean? So, but I do feel you there. So then Chloe says she has been used and abused and thrown under the bus. Now, thrown under the bus, okay, you may have the right to that, but used and abused, you a lie, you a cheat. I don't want you no more. Child, do you know that there's actual women that are being used and abused right now? There's one motherfucker that did way too damn much, and he's in jail. He's trying to get a pardon for what he did. Hands to the low. There are men being used and abused right now. There are children, sadly, being used and abused right now. There are babies and dogs and cats and everything else being used and abused. There are employees being used and abused at companies. Socially, give them one job and then you give them other jobs and expect them to make it out okay with their mental health. There's other people being actually used and abused. You were not used and abused. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. So then we get to the preview, child. So we have Chloe and, Labrina. They're talking, right? And, you are it. It's a tense conversation. In the words of Luigi, it's a very tense moment. And then Labrina, Ashley, and Ro are talking, and Labrina's like, I don't think Chloe understands how many negative seeds she has planted. And then Latoya says to Chloe, you got to work on, you taking in criticism. Let's see here. I didn't like seeing Chloe almost in tears. Labrina's crew gained up on Chloe. I don't like seeing anybody in tears, right? Here's the thing. I personally think, and this is sad, right? Because this is the one thing that determines people's rise and demise in any shape, form, or fashion in life is communication. I really don't think that these ladies have issues that are issues that really could hurt them. I feel like each one of them brings their energy. I feel like each one of them is trying to actually be a good person. I feel like each one of them, they have the mental faculties, unlike that broken, dilapidated, and decrepit show that needs to be canceled on. But you are investing in other shows. I will give you that. And I am going to be reviewing Put a Ring on It, Cheat Hab, coming out July 31st. I am going to be reviewing that because that looks like it's going to be a good show. Okay. It looks like Temptation Island plus cheating. Those of you who don't know what Temptation Island is, it's four couples at a crossroads. They come to Hawaii, and the four women are in a villa with 10 men, and the four men are in a villa with 10 women, and they basically cheat. Personally, I'm not taking my relationship on Temptation Island, nor cheat half for you daily people. We could just be amicable and just break up. Plus, knowing that, do you really want to be known to the world as a cheater? Listen. But moving on. That's neither here nor there. So yeah, Latoria says you gotta work on your talking to people, Chloe. And then Chloe says, "Don't you ever say that I'm not a good friend?" And Rose says, "You're not a good friend." And we'll figure out more of that. And then Elena finally clocks in the word. She clocks in forward. And Rose says that Josh said that he caught you, Elena, cheating. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your Heart and Hustle Season 2, Episode 7 after show. Did I cover everything? Oh, man, I am loving it. As you guys know, Roe was off for the 4th of July, but they got new episodes, and we'll be reviewing that tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on the data. So, yeah, we'll be doing that tomorrow night. So yeah, like I said, with Heart and Hustle Houston, I really do love the show. And, I will say this, right? With every show that I review, I'll always try my very best to make sure that I am authentic in my opinion and that I am relating my opinion to what I think I would and would not do, but also to the people in my life, what I think they would and would not do. But also, too, I try to make sure that I always represent Black culture of. Now, we all know that actually happened in real life without cameras. It'll be a completely different situation. I'm not that, no. I'm not just like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Because it's like, no. That's just like Young Miami spin that ish. Go steal something. And let's see if Young Miami bails your ass out of jail. It's not going to happen. Just like she wouldn't give you a golden shower to save you if you were on fire. Okay? All right. By the way, if you missed my live when I broke down Young Miami versus NDIRE, and NDIRE was the factual winner of that, go watch that live. It's a fantastic live. I use factual information to prove a point. So yes, indeed, y'all. I'm just looking at my phone to see if anything is new in the neighborhood. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. D, how did I do? Did I cover everything? I think, and like I said, I think this is your first time here, so let me know how I did with the review and everything. Like I said, I always try to ask my audience, how did I do? Because I only get better by asking y'all, you know what I mean? So, and I do try to give each cast love, grace, and space, right? Like, if we need to see more, I will say we need to see more before I actually give my opinion. But if it happens on the show, it just happens on the show. You know what I mean? So my review can only be as good as what y'all give to the culture. So y'all do a lot of bad ish, I gotta talk about all the bad ish. If y'all do a lot of good ish, then I gotta talk about all the good ish, right? So, you determine the review. I always loved NDIRE, and you did great. Thank you so much. Yes, NDIRE for the win. And listen, am I wishing hell on Young Miami? No. Do I think that the only reason why Young Miami exists is because of Payola, Plug Ola, Show Ola, and Diddy? Yes. Sorry, she said she was going to be the next Oprah Winfrey. Like, child. There's only one Oprah. I'm sorry. Like, she was born in the 1950s where she could have been strange true. Then she had to make it through what she made it through, be rejected as a news anchor, then get a talk show that wasn't doing well for that show to eventually do well when there was a 99.9% chance of it not making it. And then she had to do the hard work so you could actually be on a stage that you got paid for an award for you to be able to say that. Good damn. Listen, just because somebody gives an opinion doesn't mean that they hate them. Okay, the thing that I cannot stand is we're pretending that if any one of us black people actually stole something, that Young Miami will actually give a damn if we were locked up. I mean, black people are followed around stores, right? They're usually the ones that usually end up deleted off the earth just because we exist. And number three, we walking around, you feel like your existence is a crime. And I don't want to hear that Young Miami walks the same streets as all her fans does, because it's two different streets. It is. Stop it. Your street is different in terms of the resources and access you have versus your fans. Stop that shit. That's just like Stephen A. Smith. Well, I walk the streets every day too. Motherfucker, no, you don't. Stop it. Stop it. And stop it. Your own daughter roasted you. And people like your daughter more than you. Yes, we can have positive, fun music. Absolutely. And listen, I'm not saying that ratchet music doesn't have a place. I'm not saying that, right? I think there's an audience for everybody. But when you promote something that you know good to damn well that if you weren't Young Miami, that your ass would be locked up for, you got to be some kind of stupid. You just have to be. Anyway, Chuck, I'm going to turn off my camera now because we done the whole show. Well, ran hour. Yes, we have. Yes, indeed. 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 Man. Yes, indeed. So, I guess, let's see here. I don't know why people ever listen to loud MAGA Stephen A. Smith. I agree with you. Listen, there's nothing wrong with having an opinion, right? But you have to have opinion along with facts, right? My opinions, every opinion I have had on this channel has been from a factual perspective, right? I read y'all the destination before I give my opinion. I don't just say something just to say something, right? And when it gets to the point where when you are on live television and you confuse Kyle Murray, who's a football player, with Kyle Rittenhouse, who deleted people unnecessarily on your live sports show, yeah, you need to be done. You need to be done. I truly believe that he is going to make a check that his ass can't cash. And the biggest thing that he said was, with this new deal, he can do a talk show, he can do a game show, he can do a lot more things, right? And when ESPN said, well, when he's an employee of ESPN, we'll hold him to account. But when he's an employee of SiriusXM, or when he's an employer of this, that, and the third, we're not responsible. But that, in the words of Maury, in the words of Maury, the lie detector test determined that was a lie. And do you know why that's a lie? Because if he makes a check that his ass can't cash somewhere else, and it gets back, but if he makes a check that his ass can't cash, and it shakes the table, right, where you have the board of directors saying this Negro is costing us money, right? What you gonna do then? Because at that point, you can't say, right, that, well, he's an employee over there. No. Y'all paying him what, $100 million contract? I'm just saying. Like I said, ESPN can do what they want to do, but they need to be careful because when shareholders and the board of directors, they don't like their money being funny, right? And they don't like their stream of revenue being disrespected. I gotta tell you, it's gonna backfire. But hey, what do I know though, right? I'm just a black man talking on YouTube. I mean, does that make sense though? I mean, just I really do feel like him getting into politics is going to backfire on him. I just really do. Mm. Yes, indeed. We are just chillaxing here. Just chillaxing live on tour, y'all. Hmm. My God. Yeah, like I said, if y'all got any questions or anything, let me know and I will gladly answer them to the best of my ability on Hard Hustle Houston or anything that is going on. Like I said, we'll have a new show for y'all tomorrow morning at um, at 11 a.m. Depending on what's going on, because I try to let the morning play out for what it needs to be. You know what I mean? So. Hmm. Do I review Beyond the Gates? I used to in the very early days. There is a woman who I love dearly named Nikki News, and I reviewed that every day. And I was very good at doing those reviews, but it's so far into the show now. Um, I don't even know if I can even do it again because this is the thing about me, right? And I know this about social media and content, right? Um, you have to, in the words of many women, don't introduce me to a vibe that you don't maintain, right? Um, and I feel like if I jumped back in it, I feel like I would be disrespecting um, the audience of Beyond the Gates because they don't play. They do not play. So I would just want to respect the audience. You know what I mean? So like if I jump back in it, um, I would just want to make sure that that it's in a fashion that everybody respects that hey, I'm picking up the show from where it left off. But there's so much that happens since then. By the way, I think they are up for their first daytime Emmy nomination. So prayers up to them. I hope they get it. I think that for all that the show has done, I think it definitely deserves not just a nomination, but it definitely deserves a win because it's done so much. Like I remember when Beyond the Gates first got started, right? And because it replaced the talk, and yeah, oh, absolutely. And plus, not only that, right? Like I had to, wait for the show and everything else because I wasn't watching it live. So I would just want to make sure that the audience felt respected. But there are plenty of great content creators out there, and if you go back and listen to some of my earlier Beyond the Takes, now you know what Beyond the Takes is a great title for a show. Listen, somebody takes that, you better give me credit for that. Beyond the Takes as a show, but yeah, so. But I am very proud of the show, and like I said, I hope they do get that daytime Emmy win. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like I was saying, yeah, it took over the talk, and so a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, another, you know, soap opera." But then everybody got into it. I mean, everybody got into it. And let me tell you something: to do that in 2026, with the attention span being so short, like they deserve their time slot. They absolutely do. So shout out to them. I really am proud of that show. And also, too, let me just say this as well, right? I personally think just because you don't review the show every day does not mean you are not a fan of the show. I think that when we cut people off like that, and I'm not saying are doing that or if anyone else is doing that, but if people are doing that, you're only hurting the show. If people are a fan of, oh my God, there's a black soap opera on national television, and people really love the fact that they can see themselves and they enjoy that, that is a fan. For real, for real. So yeah. Like I said, if you got any other questions, D, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm just relaxing. I usually chill out for like maybe like what 10 to 15 minutes after the show. I try to give a full hour of content. Because I do think that when you guys are, looking for content, especially like live content. Now, this is like the old school broadcaster in me, but I also feel like it's just the right thing to do. Somebody comes to your channel and the first 10 or 15 minutes you talk, and then you're cheap enough to like drop the link and let the panel talk for you, then that's not being a content creator to me. Unless you really do have a crew like that and they know you can at least hold your own for like 40 minutes, then there you go. You know what I mean? So, but then again, everybody does their content differently, child, so I can't really say that. It's just my opinion. I just like giving at least a full hour of content so you know that you at least got something. Yes, indeed. Yep, I'll chill out with you as long as you need me to. And then once you are good, then I'll head off. Hey, two people in the building. Thank you so much. Me and D are here just chillaxing. Mm. 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 I don't know. I don't know. If we're just chillaxing, y'all. I'll probably end the show maybe around like an hour 25 or so. We'll see. We shall see. By the way, I told y'all at the top of the show that I had a good talk with my sister, and we were just talking about just life and everything. And I think the one thing we do need to do in life sometimes, y'all, is recognizing that slowing down um, is not such a bad thing. You know what I mean? I try my very best to stay about the hustle of this channel, but there are some days, y'all. I'm gonna be real with y'all, and what I'm about to say, if you don't hear this from any other content creator, just know they ain't being able to. They just are not being real to say it. Now, some will say it, some won't. But I do feel like sometimes burnout is real. Right now, I don't get burnt out because I actually talk about a lot of different things. Okay, I don't just limit myself in terms of my content, unlike others. But listen, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if you let it fly, it must apply. But but sincerely, I truly do believe that we do sometimes become too much a slave to the rhythm. And when you become a slave to the rhythm, you don't know your freedom. And when you don't know your freedom, you will just give yourself away. So if you are working hard and you feel like you need to just slow down for yourself, please do. Please do, and please do. Life is way too short. If you have a day to yourself where it's like, okay, Thursday, happy hour, I am at Applebee's. I'm getting me a $5 margarita. I might get me two. And I'm gonna put my phone on do not disturb. That is your complete right. If anybody gets mad at you for you taking care of yourself, they are not supposed to be your friend. Do you hear me? Me for real with y'all. Sometimes we will be giving too much of ourselves to people who don't deserve it. And you know you got somebody like that in your life right damn now as I'm speaking. And you in your head like, well, damn, Braylon's right. That was a little harsh the way he said, but he's kind of right. Like I said, what I've come to realize is 10 times out of 10, the messages we are hearing are usually messages we've been needing to hear for a long time. If it wasn't going to come from your mama and your daddy, it was going to come from your brother or your sister. I also think too, oh, absolutely. A mental day, 2 or 3. Yes, indeed. And also, too, let me tell you something. If you're hearing a message from somebody that you feel like that message you were supposed to hear anyway, maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe that just means you're clocked in. I mean, being honest, maybe that means you are clocked in. Just a thought, you know. Everything is in the eye of the beholder, child. Some. In the words of NDIRE, some people don't want to be free. Good Lord Jesus. Yes, indeed. Bro, you got anything else you want? Not bro, sorry. D, good Lord. It's been a long day, child. D, do you have anything else you want to say? And no, yeah, when I say it's been a long day, I mean it's been a long day. I went to work today. Very sad day for me. One of my good friends who has become a best friend to me. Last day of me and him working together. I'm like, good damn, and good damn. So very sad day. I dealt with like 5 pallets of beer and wine. I mean, I was gone all day long, just pulling pallets, stocking, pulling them back, pulling them out. Just, I mean, man. I mean, it was a good day, but I was just mentally exhausted. I really was. But yes, so, mm. I'm good. Thanks for the conversation. I have to make a call right now, but hope to catch another one of your last. Have a good evening. You too. Feel free to come back anytime. Absolutely. I always love new people for sure. So, y'all, if I give y'all a daily motivator for this one, while many things can be true, always be about the truth, right? While many things can be true, always be about the truth. While many things can be true, always be about the truth. Um, I think sometimes when we don't allow evolution to happen, we stay in brokenness. When we don't allow evolution to happen, we stay in brokenness. When we don't allow evolution to happen, we stay in brokenness, right? So that's the first thing I want to tell you. The second thing I want to tell you is, even though you may not even though you may not have had a part to play in that brokenness, doesn't mean that you have to allow that problem to continue. It does not mean that you have to allow that problem to continue. That does not mean that you have to allow that problem to continue. I think sometimes people want to, I think sometimes people want to just have something to talk about, to feel like they have something going on. And I don't know what it is, but it's okay to say, hey, listen, I wake up every day, enjoy and being relaxed and not being stressed. I don't know how anybody could not want that type of life. Do you know stress can kill you? Stress, it can kill you. Shout out to Jeff Doe. But finally, my silly ass. But anyway, the final thing I will say is this, y'all. Recognizing that no matter how many things you do, it is not up to you to fix it. No matter how many things you do, it is not up to you to fix it. No matter how many things you do, it is not up to you to fix it. If you keep apologizing for who you are, and you've made concessions, you've made the overtures, and you've done everything, and they still not accepting you, let them motherfucking ass go. Good damn. Why do we hold on to things that are no longer used to us? Have you maybe just ever thought the reason why you can't move on to a blessing is because you're still holding on to a curse? Have you ever thought about that? Sincerely, have you ever thought about that? You are still holding on to a curse, right? When you really could be having a blessing in your life. I'm going to say that 2 more times. Have you been holding on to a curse because you keep hoping it's going to be a blessing to you? Have you been holding on to a curse because you hope it keeps being a blessing to you? Have you kept holding on to a curse because it's going to be a blessing to you? If you have, I need you to stop that shit. Please. If not for me, for you. And can I let you know something? Steve Harvey talked about the packages that are in heaven awaiting for us. I can tell you right now, if you're holding on to curses in your life, that's also a one-way ticket for your packages to go back to heaven. If you're holding on to curses, that is a one-way ticket for your blessings to go back to heaven. If you are holding on to curses, that is a one-way ticket for your blessings that you've been warning, praying for, and everything in between that you really believe you deserve. God will send back your blessings because you keep holding on to curses, not just your thinking. Okay. Listen, you can do what you want to do. Okay. Now everybody goes to church. Some people get the word in this fashion. Now, I ain't no bishop or none. I'm just utilizing common sense knowledge and also where I've been in my life to help you out along your journey. Okay. So with that being said, it is time for the best outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say you want more special because you are always one of us. And trust you may not be where you want to be, but by the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Why it's one thing to call yourself, it's another thing to be chosen. One love, much love, all love. I have spent time with you. You spend time with me. And hopefully by spending time together, we'll some great together. And always remember what you're doing. Radio, television. Yes, radio, television, YouTube, living your best life, or child. You're just recognizing that your bandwidth, it doesn't have to be available to everybody. Make sure the replay is not just ready for you to watch it, not just ready for you to listen to it, but if you want to experience it again. I love you. I value you. I embrace you all. Always remember, in order to receive love, you got to give it. Or receive love, you got to give it. Or receive love, you got to give it. Wherever obstacles you overcome, wherever successes you have achieved upon this particular day, I'm extremely proud of you. But no one else is proud of you. Be proud of you to help. So finally, y'all listen. You know that song, Soon as I Stop Worrying about what the story was, I let go and let God have his way. And that's when things stop happening. I stopped looking at back then. Let go and let God have his way. I understand the weight of not knowing what is to come. Right? But I can promise you this, though. You holding on to whatever you're holding on to, it's holding you back from a peaceful blessing that you deserve. It really is. You're holding on, and you don't know how to let go and let God. It's hard to let go and let God because it's like God doesn't tell you what's happening. He don't. But God is not the author of confusion. God is the author of conclusions, not confusion. God is the author of conclusions, not confusion. God is the author of conclusions, not confusions. Okay. Commercial break and fireworks coming your way for the day that was, for the day that's to come, and for the blessings that are on the way for me, all of us, as a society, as a people, and as a culture. I feel the love. I send it right back to you. Good night, everybody. Love you all very much. Bye-bye.
I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should.
Good evening. My name is Mark Woodbury. I'm the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity, and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal, and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Are video games getting too expensive? This episode, we want to find some common ground because the CEOs want to raise the price even more.
Not with these broken ass games.
$5 million. That's how much San Andreas costs to make. Is it their fault for selling or our fault for buying?
Corporations claim all this stuff. Devs say otherwise.
Sports gamers, cozy gamers, whatever you call the people who play Power Wash Simulator.
I think it stings a little bit more because I'm spending my actual money and my mom is not. Imagine they get rid of all movie theaters and then charge you the same price to watch the same movie at home.
That's like every streaming service. It doesn't have to be the longest of games, but am I having fun with it? This is Lex. I'm Ronell. Let's get right into it.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
I've been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content. I've been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content. I've been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content.
Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about, besides lying all the damn time. Child relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the